with an aim to build a one-stop center for gynecological health.
I always believed that women's health matters most. When you check the health of a woman, you check the health of the society.
He has been conferred with numerous honors.
Whatever I am today, it is because of the smiles, the blessings, the wishes of all the patients.
NewsX India A-list proudly recognizes Dr. G.S.S Mohapatra for excellence in the field of gynecology.
Hello and a very warm welcome to NewsX A-list. I'm joined with Dr. G.S.S Mohapatra. He is senior consultant at Apollo Hospital, Bhubaneswar. He's also the founder of Orissa Center for Life. A very warm welcome to NewsX, sir.
Thank you.
So very importantly, I would want to ask you, I would not say few, but not at a large number do you find gynecologists being men. You're not just one, but an expert in that. You're a gynec laparoscopic surgeon and an infertility specialist also. Can you tell us a bit about your journey and why did you choose this?
First, talking of why I chose to be a gynecologist is that I always believed that women's health matters most. When you check the health of a woman, you check the health of the society. And I have been raised by a very strong woman. I have married a strong woman. And I always felt that whenever you can take care of a woman's needs, right from her sexual health, her reproductive health, help her through her childbearing years, and then finally go on to help her to treat her cancers like cancers of the uterus and ovaries, then what better than that? So that is why I chose to become a gynecologist, and I felt it is a matter of great honor. But when I was doing my PG, post-graduation in MD and ONG, during those days, what happened was that the schedule became more or less very monotonous, doing those cesarean sections and gynecological surgeries. And at that point of time, the concept of laparoscopy was just creeping in. And that idea of doing keyhole surgeries and removing huge tumors through very minute 5 mm and 1 centimeter holes fascinated me. And that is why I developed the idea and the fascination to get trained myself under stalwarts in India, and then went to Italy, France, and Germany, meet the stalwarts of endometriosis, and then finally return and pass on the same to other colleagues and juniors as well. And so that is why today I stand here after having done maybe more than 15,000 successful laparoscopic surgeries. And now then, talking of infertility,
yes,
infertility specialist is again another thing which I find myself blessed to be, because when you see a couple, a childless couple running from pillar to post, from one fertility clinic to the other in search of a miracle, and they don't find one, and then it puts a lot of mental, social, and psychological stress. And when you are able to give them a positive result, then the smiles on their face is unimaginable, unfathomable. So I feel blessed. I feel more happy when a childless couple conceives rather than they themselves. So that is how I call myself as a laparoscopic surgeon by choice and an obstetrician by compulsion.
That is so great. It is so good to hear that, our lives are in hands of doctors like yourself, who take pride in what they do, and they do it not just for themselves, but for the society.
Yeah.
So you must have had a very interesting journey, a number of milestones that you've achieved, but it's never easy to achieve milestones. Can you tell us about the hardships and some situations that you would have come across and you would have, obviously felt a little down, but what helped you come out of it and, achieve what you've achieved?
Coming from a very, very remote place in Orissa and then going on to become a successful gynecologist was not at all easy, because I remember when I was a kid and was preparing for myself, my entrance examinations, I used to get fascinated by reading a magazine called Junior Science Refresher, and even getting a copy of that magazine at my place was a very, very difficult and daunting task. I used to walk 3 kilometers a day just to get a glimpse of the magazine, and then get inspired by the interview of one topper of any one entrance examination who had topped one entrance. And I used to ask my dad to purchase those books just because, for the sake that topper had topped by reading those books. And that is how I inspired myself. I didn't know the ABC of the book, but I had to purchase it just to do well. And that is how I inspired myself, and then went on to become a gynecologist. But I always believe that in spite of doing so much of hardships, going on to do so many laparoscopic surgeries today, I feel blessed that it was a difficult task, but an enjoyable one, a memorable one, because whatever I am today, it is because of the smiles, the blessings, the wishes of all the patients who have been with me. And I am here today all because of my patients.
As you talk about your patients with so much happiness, tell us, so many surgeries that you have done, there must be a lot of cases that it always happens. Like for us, there is some story which is always close to our heart. There must be some case which might be close to your heart that you would like to share with us.
Yeah, it was in maybe 2010 December, and I was an assistant professor then at a medical college. And suddenly the chairman called me up and said that, look, doc, and we have a patient here who has a 15 kg ovarian tumor, and she has been running from place to place, seemingly inoperable, and people are refusing her surgery. And she's very, 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 very poor. She even can't afford the cost of the surgery. So we have agreed to operate on her, provided you do it. And then I took up the challenge, and the surgery took a few long hours. And finally, the 15 kg ovarian tumor was removed successfully.
Oh, wow.
Now, what happened later on was that after 3 or 4 days, whenever we do a major surgery, we do not allow oral liquids and diets very soon. And the first few days, patient is on IV fluids. And after 3 or 4 days, when I went to her and just kept my hands on her shoulder and look, from today we are going to start you on diet. And she looked me at him with a blank stare and said, "Sir, I don't have food for my diet. I don't have money for my diet." And I said, "You don't have money?" She said, "No." So I said, "My team, not an issue." I immediately took out a 100 rupee note, gave it to her, and told that, "You please have tiffin, and we will arrange all sample medications for you." And from that day, for 10 long days, she stayed further in the bed, and we took proper care of her. And when she went back, we ensured that she goes back after having visited Lord Jagannath at Puri. And because I knew that she is not going to come back to me for a revisit, because she could not afford that, because she was staying hundreds of kilometers away, I just gave her my mobile number and said that, Bhaidai, look, in case you can afford to just give me a call someday, it will be very nice of you. And that is how I just wished her goodbye, and she went away. And I didn't even expect that she will ever come back for a post-op checkup. And one fine day, maybe after 2-3 months, I was sitting in the labor room, and I was doing some writing an OT note, and suddenly one call, a landline number, came on my mobile. And I thought that probably it is a call from some advertising agency or something, and I just wanted to stop it. And I just said, and somebody was very speaking to me in a very soft voice and telling, Babu, I am Baidehi and I am fine.
How
And
sweet.
that gave me goosebumps even that day. That gives me
Giving me
goosebumps
goosebumps. I'm
even
sure
to,
must have given.
yeah, and that gives me goosebumps even today. And I think it is her blessings probably that took on, and wherever I am today, I feel that has a big role to play.
Absolutely, such good doings always have a very large role in our lives. But something that I would want to ask you: a common women health problem. Which one do you consider? As a doctor, which PCOD, PCOS, one of these are they becoming recurring more often now, or are people becoming more aware about it?
The diseases which normally today are the challenging issues for me as a gynecologist today would be three. One, infertility; two, polycystic ovarian disease; and three, endometriosis. Infertility, for example, affects around 10 to 15% of the couples in India. In urban areas, around every 1 in 6 couples suffers from infertility. And as I was telling you, they suffer from a lot of psychological, financial, emotional stress as well. And polycystic ovarian disease is a lifestyle disease. And today, every 1 in 5 young females suffers from that disease. And it is an enigma till today. But the way I treat polycystic ovarian disease, I believe I am very happy with my way of treatment, because I do not prescribe contraceptive pills to my patients. I advise them a lot of weight reduction, a lot of exercise, lifestyle modification, a lot of counseling goes in, and advise them to have vitamins in the form of inositols. And that is how they are encouraged, and how it helps them in ovulation, in their reproductive career. And a lot of counseling helps to tell them that, see, you are your best doctor, and I'm not your best doctor. Provided you are motivated enough, you can bring great results to yourself. And the third important challenge which comes to me is endometriosis, the silent killer, which has affected maybe more than 170 million people, women worldwide. It gives you debilitating cramps and killer cramps and pain and infertility too. So I have taken endometriosis also as a big challenge in my life, and I treat it in a multidisciplinary way with my whole team, and I'm very happy with the results that we're getting.
That is great to hear. So we're completely out of time, but before I let you go, I really want to ask you one advice that you would like to give women, especially when they need to take care of themselves during their reproductive years.
As I was just telling, do not take too much on your plate, because a woman tries to take too much of your plate and then tries to balance, that it becomes a lot difficult. So put your health matters a lot to the society, to you. So your health should be holistic. So it should be both mental, physical, psychological, social. So your well-being matters a lot. So take lots of fruits, vegetables, fiber diets, and eat on time, sleep on time, have a regular 8 hours sleep, take less stress, put your goals in such a way that you do not have to overwork. And so finally, I would just like to say, conclude by saying one line, that my center, Orissa Center for Life, life stands for laparoscopy, infertility, fibroids, and endometriosis. So it is a center for women, for them. My slogan is, say no to no one, yes to everyone. Every woman, rich or poor, should be able to come forward without hesitation. And God bless me with the ability to help her in the best way possible.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for doing so much for the society.
Thank you so much.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.